Chapter 4. Read the signposts on the royal road to riches. There is a royal road to riches that you may discover, and it will lead you to unlimited supplies of money and the things that money can buy. This royal road to riches is marked by certain signposts that can accurately guide you to the achievement of fame and fortune. When you follow these signposts, which other rich people have observed, you will ultimately reach your goal in life and achieve success and unlimited riches. In this chapter, we shall explore some of these signposts that lead you to the royal road to riches and discover how you may avoid the pitfalls that often keep people from achieving success and abundance. Signpost number 1, a desire for a big fortune. Write down on a file card this signpost for riches and the things you desire in your life. Then list the most prominent things you would like to do with your money. A. I desire money so I may give my family security. B. I desire a fortune so I may travel and have more leisure to pursue artistic and intellectual activities. C. I desire $100,000 to educate my children. D. I desire large sums of money so I may have my own home, a beautiful car, and the luxuries and comforts that make life pleasurable. E. I desire a big business success and a fortune so I may endow charitable institutions, help orphans, veterans, establish peace, and bring about better racial relations. F. I desire $1 million so I may create a foundation that will do scientific research in medicine and health to bring longer life and better health to the world. G. I wish to become famous, rich, and powerful for personal satisfaction and joy of accomplishment. You may select any of these 7 desires for building a fortune, or you may choose all of them to give you the impetus towards success, fame, and riches. Obviously, the desires listed under A, B, C, and D are the most common ones that motivate millions of people. You should choose the particular desires that fit your needs and then write them down on file cards, which you can keep in a place where you are reminded daily of these motivating forces. A man I once knew, who used this method, had the desire to give his family security, but at the same time he wanted money so he could give his children a college education, and then, later in life, he wanted to be able to travel and enjoy cultural benefits which his money could buy. Obviously, all these things did not come to him in a year or two. The first thing that did come was his own business, which gave him financial security. Then, gradually, over a period of 5 years, he had an income that gave him the future security he asked for, as well as enough to educate his 3 children in later years. Signpost number 2, a creative imagination and ability to use the powers of visualization. Most of the great things created in this age of miracles have come about because of this signpost on the royal road to riches. Man's creative imagination has been responsible for TV, automobiles, air conditioning, telephones, motion pictures, airplanes and spaceships, computers, electric power, and the millions of amazing inventions that have blessed this age. The 3 aspects of imagination you can use. A. Concentration. To utilize the creative power of your imagination, it is necessary that you sit each day and concentrate your creative power in a positive, direct manner on the things you wish to do in the future. Concentrate for 5 minutes on your work and see in your imagination how you might change it to be more productive. Concentrate another 5 minutes on your money matters. Are you utilizing money correctly to get the greatest yield on your investments? Could you put your money into something other than a savings account, which might yield a greater income? Concentrate on releasing the power of your imagination on new ideas that might prove helpful in bringing you money. Visualize yourself in another job or in a business of your own. See yourself creating something or inventing an object that could bring you a fortune. B. Emotional intensification. An ordinary use of the imagination is not as effective as emotional intensification. Almost everyone thinks occasionally, I'd like to have $1 million so I could do the things I want to do. But this is not an original or intense use of imaginative power. You must want something so intensely that you charge your brain centers with the magnetic quality of attraction, and it will then come to you. A woman I once knew in California was left by her husband with 2 small children to rear. She had no work, no money, and seemingly no way to get out of her difficulties. When she came to me for my advice on her problems, I asked her what work she could best do. She replied, "I have always been good at working with my hands in needlework, knitting, and making curtains for friends and relatives. But how could I do this when I have never had any professional training?" I told her to program her subconscious mind with the following positive statement and to then await results from her higher mind. She was to repeat 3 times a day the following mental programmers. I am a channel for higher mind to work through me. My subconscious knows my talents. I now ask guidance as to how I can convert these gifts into money or its equivalents. I desire money to help give security to my 2 children and to own a home of my own in the future. I now confidently await guidance on the next steps I shall take to bring me in a steady income. This woman reported to me only 2 weeks later and was so excited she could hardly tell me what had happened. A woman, for whom she had graciously made a set of beautiful window drapes for free, knew a wealthy woman who had a beautiful new home she was furnishing. She needed drapes for her entire house, and she was willing to order them from this talented woman who had been using her gifts for the good of her friends and relatives. Through a friend who was a credited interior decorator, she was able to order her materials from a wholesale house at a very good discount, and she enlisted the aid of 2 other seamstresses to help her with the big job she had undertaken. The outcome of this first venture in her own business was that the wealthy woman was delighted with the beautiful work she did and recommended her to friends in the Beverly Hills and Bel Air set. She had cards printed and distributed, and soon her phone was ringing all day with orders for bedspreads, curtains, and other homemaking objects which she created. Money began pouring in, but the big thing that happened came a year later. She hired a staff of 3 smart women and equipped them with kits of materials showing her products and photographs of work she had already done. These 3 women solicited new homes, worked with decorating firms, and received orders for complete drapery and upholstery services. The new venture was an instant success, and soon this woman rented a big loft and had a staff of 10 people turning out her magnificent wares. She is now living in a magnificent home in Beverly Hills and has her manager and her staff who do the actual selling and work, while she banks the money and rides in a beautiful new Cadillac. You have some special gift. Probe your imagination and concentrate your mind power on discovering what it is. If you have no such special gift, ask your subconscious mind to direct you to something that you can do and see how quickly you will be on the royal road to riches. C. Imagination without action seldom produces a fortune. The third aspect of imagination is projection. You must begin to project the visual images you have to the outer world of reality and take that first step to bring it into reality. Your creative power works very much like a motion picture projector, which is loaded with film on which there are inscribed pictures or images. When light shines through the projector, those images are projected to the outer screen and take on form and reality. Your brain is the projector. Your thoughts are the film, and the pictures on that film have been placed there by your images that you have created within your imagination. If these images are weak and indefinite, they will project to the outer world indecision, lack, limitation, and failure. If you make these images strong through emotional intensification and project your images to the outer world, they will soon take shape and bring you the success and riches you desire. If you want to write a great novel, hold the mental image first, then intensify it emotionally by having a great desire to entertain the world and enrich yourself. Then take the first step to externalize this image. Buy a typewriter, learn how to use it, get a piece of paper, and insert it in the typewriter, and then ask your subconscious mind for ideas to write that first novel. I know a young man of 26 who did exactly this. He had been in prison in the South and was released. He came to New York City and wandered into one of my lectures where he learned how he could change his entire life through subconscious programming. He asked himself what gift he had. He found he had none. But suddenly his subconscious reminded him of the brutal prison experiences he had known. He sat down and wrote down his recollections, weaving them into a story. He could not even type, but a friend rewrote the manuscript on a typewriter. They sent it to an agent, and the first novel was published, but sold only 1,000 copies. However, a motion picture company saw the novel and offered him $85,000 for the picture rights. From that mental projection, this young writer went on to other successes. He was hired at a big salary to write the film version, and since that time has done other novels. Signpost number 3. Use the 24 golden hours of each day wisely. This signpost can definitely put your feet on the royal road to riches. Most people waste several hours a day on usual pursuits and never have the necessary time to concentrate their mind power on becoming wealthy. You only have 24 hours a day to spend. 8 hours are required for sleep and relaxation. 8 hours you work, and only 8 hours a day are left for you to spend as you wish. If you spend 2 hours each day looking at television or in other forms of entertainment, you still have 6 precious hours left. Let us say that preparing food and eating take up 3 hours. Then you have only 3 hours out of 24 left to devote to self-improvement or to studying methods for building a fortune. Most people never find this royal road to riches because they waste the precious gold of life on useless pursuits. If you spend only 3 hours a day on concentrating your mind power on how you can make a fortune, you will soon be able to discover the means for going into a new business, discovering a new object that could make you a fortune, or perfecting some talent that could bring you $1 million in the future. A woman came to me once at one of my lectures and complained, "After I do my housework and take care of my 2 growing children, I have no time to develop creative talents. What can I do?" I then told her a story about a nurse who had 3 children. Her husband was gone, and she was forced to work 12 hours a day in a hospital to make money to support her children. She chose night work. She had a terrific desire to make a fortune so she could give her children future security. She decided she would become a writer. She learned everything she could about writing novels. Then, despite the fact she worked 12 hours each night, she would return to her home, prepare breakfast for her 3 children, pack their lunches, and send them off to school. Then she would sit at her desk and write until she dropped off to sleep from sheer exhaustion. This courageous woman finished her novel, sent it off to a publisher, and awaited results. Her novel was accepted, and she began writing other novels, still working nights at her profession of nursing. The novelist became famous and earned $5 million at her writing and from movie rights. Her name was Mary Roberts Reinhardt. When I finished this story, this woman replied, "I get the point. If I want something badly enough, I'll find the time to get it." This woman later studied art, and although she did not have a great talent, she found an outlet for her gifts. She began doing photo coloring in her spare time at home, and the big photographers sent her large photos, which she colored. In this way, she often made as much as $100 a week extra. To wisely utilize the golden hours of each day, you must have a definite schedule to follow. This should include the daily use of your spare hours, so you utilize them wisely and profitably. Your schedule might look like this. Monday. Today I shall learn 3 new words that I can use in my writing and conversation, which will help me expand my mind in a positive manner. Tuesday. Today I shall contact 4 people by telephone or letter on some new business idea or for sales possibilities of my product. Or it might be an interview with a company that you want to work with. Wednesday. This day I shall study the life of some important and wealthy person and learn his business secrets and emulate the pattern of his thinking in my own effort to become rich. Thursday. I shall sit for half an hour today trying to receive some guidance from my subconscious mind on some way to improve my life, to better my work, or to receive an idea for an invention or an improvement of some product I use every day. Friday. This day I shall study the business section of the daily paper, learning of people who have made fortunes through the stock market or through business methods they have used. This can be such magazines as Fortune, Forbes, or other financial publications. Saturday. Today I shall write 2 letters to future prospects who might be able to help me merchandise my product or use my services in their business. Sunday. Today I shall give thanks to God for my blessings and appraise all my true riches, peace of mind, love, happiness, good mental and physical health, true friends, my family, and my gifts and talents which are God-given. I shall this day realize that I am abundantly blessed with $1 million worth of riches that money cannot buy. Signpost number 4. Build positive mental habits. Making money can become a habit, just like anything else. Big money makers have learned to build a positive mental attitude and to create positive habit patterns regarding money. To build this positive mental habit, start being conscious of every dollar you earn and spend. Make a brief record each day of money spent and then total it at the end of each week to imprint on your mind what you are doing with your money. The saying, "Take care of the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves," is based on this mental habit of money awareness. The first John D. Rockefeller kept a diary when he was a young boy. In it, he listed his daily expenses. One such item says, 2 cents put into the collection plate this Sunday. A mind that built such positive money habits when young could not help but become a big financial success. Also in this money diary, you might list sums of money earned, money that comes to you from unexpected sources, and money you hope to gain for meeting future needs. Signpost number 5. Be enthusiastic about the product you have to sell or the services you have to offer the public. One of the secret ingredients in back of every big fortune that has ever been built is enthusiasm. If you do not have enthusiasm regarding your present job, give it up and get into something you love to do. Enthusiasm creates mental and physical energy. You can be enthusiastic about making money, it is true, but you must have something you enjoy doing before money will begin to pour into your bank account. A man named Dean Arnold was enthusiastic about baking products that would help the American housewife serve her family good, nourishing bread. He started with the National Biscuit Company in the early 1930s during the Depression. Later, he lost that job and decided to branch out on his own. With only $1,000 of his savings, he started his own bake shop in Greenwich, Connecticut. His enthusiasm kept him striving to perfect his baked goods until 1943, when he began to really make big money. Now, Arnold bakers sell their products in 28 states or more, and he is the head of a $10 million a year business, which is still expanding. What special gift or talent do you have? Are you enthusiastic about your product or talent? Do you show this enthusiasm when you talk to others? When you are truly enthusiastic, it is like a contagion that soon spreads to others, making them eager to help you grow rich. Another man became enthusiastic about ice cream. There are many ice cream companies, but this man believed that he had one of the finest products in the world. He opened a small business in a suburban town and began to sell his product. Soon he was franchising his soft ice cream to operators throughout the country. He developed Dan Freeze ice cream, which was sold by distributors who paid him a royalty on every gallon sold. Soon, Tom Carvel was selling freezers and franchises for his different ice cream and collecting royalties from all his dealers throughout the country. The Carvel chain of stores now grosses more than $3 million a year and is still growing. The signpost on his royal road to riches was clearly marked. It was enthusiasm. Signpost number 6. Perseverance and persistence. One of the earmarks of a rich, successful person is the fact that he is persevering and persistent. Most people try something a few times and then give up in defeat. Hardly any of the 10,000 rich people whose lives I have studied to learn their secrets of magnetizing money ever made it in one try. They often had to persevere for a period of several years before they struck it rich. The man who first developed ballpoint pens in 1946 had a good idea, but his pens were too expensive. Another man came along who persevered with his idea that he could produce a ballpoint pen that would sell for $1.69. This man's name was Patrick Frawley, and he perfected Papermate, which was soon one of the fastest-selling pens in the business. He persisted with his attempts to find a perfect fast-drying ink for his pens. Frawley did, and is making millions of pens a year at a terrific profit. Whatever ideas you receive from your subconscious mind for building your own personal fortune, Never give up until you have explored every possible avenue for achieving success. If you find you have made the wrong choice of a product or the service you are giving is not adequate to build a fortune, do not become discouraged and feel you have failed. Try another product or service and then keep on until you have broken through the barrier to success. Almost all great fortunes were built only after trying several different ways for achieving a fortune. When the right formula is discovered, never let your mind waver from your determination to become rich through your product or your services. Points to remember: 1. You can discover the royal road to riches that will lead you to unlimited wealth by probing within your own mind and searching for the signposts that are placed on the pathway to fame and fortune. 2. Signpost number 1. A desire for a big fortune. How you may intensify your desires with the list of the most prominent things you would like to do with your money when you get it. 3. Signpost number 2. A creative imagination and the ability to use your powers of visualization. Learn how to use your imagination to forge success and riches in your life. 4. A woman with 2 children created her success by using her imagination and her special creative gift of sewing. 5. A young man used his imagination to write a novel that later sold to movies for $85,000. 6. Signpost number 3. Use the 24 golden hours a day you have wisely. This signpost will lead you to find the golden road to riches and success. 7. One woman, who had 3 children, used her time constructively and earned $5 million through her movies and novels. 8. Make out a time schedule to magnetize money and utilize the golden hours of each day in a positive manner. 9. Signpost number 4. Build positive mental habits in regard to making and spending money. John D. Rockefeller kept a money diary showing his expenses even as a child. 10. Signpost number 5. Be enthusiastic about your product or the services you have to sell, and it will magnetize your brain centers to build a big fortune. 11. One man was enthusiastic about baking bread and built a multi-million-dollar fortune. 12. Signpost number 6. Have perseverance and persistence if you wish to build a fortune. One man who was persistent perfected the ballpoint pen known as Papermate and is now making millions of pens and a fortune every year. Thank you for listening. I hope you find motivation in this audiobook, Think Yourself Rich, Norvell's Secret to Money Magnetism. If you like to continue listening to more of these audiobooks, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned